at noon, President Muhammad Buhari reiterates commitments to press freedom within Nigeria as World Press Freedom Day is marked today. Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities warns lingering strike could spell doom for Nigeria. Inspector General Police Usman Baba deploys 4 choppers for enhanced aerial surveillance. On the foreign scene, Pope Francis again declares interest in meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin over Ukraine war. In sport, FIFA fines Nigeria 64 million naira, orders Eagles to play one match without fans. Details coming up shortly. Good afternoon, welcome to the news on Planet Radio 11.1 FM view. I am Bright James. To begin this afternoon with a report from the presidential villa that President Muhammad Buhari has directed government information managers to ensure that journalists and members of the public have access to government information without tears. According to statements by his special advisor on media publicity, Femi Adesina, the president gave the directive in commemoration of this year's World Press Freedom Day, which is celebrated on May 3rd every year. The president reiterated his regime's commitments to freedom of the press, pledging to continue ensuring the protection of the rights and privileges of journalists, the lawful performance of their professional duties. In line with the theme of this year's World Press Freedom Day, journalism under digital siege, Buhari assured stakeholders that government agencies under his watch will always stand against actions that are capable of limiting the preservation of the freedom of the press guaranteed by the Constitution. According to the president, the federal government was working hard to support media organizations in Nigeria through provision of better internet access to undeserved communities and achieve 95% digital literacy by 2030. While President Buhari is again charged heads of military and other security agencies in the country to rise up to their responsibilities and go after terrorists troubling the nation and eliminate them. He gave the charge after joining all the Muslims to observe the Eid prayers at the Mambila Barracks Parade Ground, Abuja, in commemoration of the Eid al-Fitr. President Buhari, while responding to questions after a return to the presidential villa from the prayer ground, said his administration would continue to work to make the country safe for Nigerians, adding that it is the duty of security agencies to know terrorist hideouts. Buhari admitted having sleepless nights over the security situation in parts of the country and however promised to spare no effort in dealing decisively and mercilessly with the criminal gangs. According to him, it is important to make the country safe, especially as the rains have started, noting that farmers must be assured of their safety as they return to the farms, thereby securing the country's food production. In education, the Minister of State for Education, Emeka Nwajuba, said that it doesn't make sense for members of the Academic Staff Union of Universities ASU to continue to earn salaries while on strike. Recall that ASU had begun 1-month warning strike on February 14, 2022, and since then has not suspended its industrial action. Speaking to newsmen in an interview, Nwajuba said that the lecturers have continued to earn salaries while on strike, adding that even after the strike, they will still come back to fight for the payment of the period they refused to work. In the meantime, the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, SANU, has warned that the lingering strike in the universities could spell doom for Nigeria. SANU President Comrade Mohammed Ibrahim, who issued the warning in his message to Nigerian workers, urged the federal government to consider the demands of the Academic Staff Union of Universities ASU and other striking university-based unions and take urgent steps towards a resolution. According to him, the standard of education in Nigeria had continued to go down due to the alleged insensitivity of the government and the inability to provide conducive teaching and learning environment. On security, the Inspector General of Police IGP Usman Alkali Baba has deployed 4 choppers for enhanced aerial surveillance. Force Public Relations Officer Muyiwa Adejobi in a statement said the move is to support police operatives who have been deployed to intensify patrol and ensure adequate security for all and sundry across the country. In furtherance of his directive and commitments to continually provide security, the IGP released funds and other required logistics to facilitate the operations. He called on Nigerians to remain calm, go about their lawful businesses and celebrations, and render necessary help to officers and men on duty while they continue and sustain their patrols. Back here, journalists have been applauded and congratulated for their excellent work of reporting and making credible information available to the public, as this year's World Press Freedom Day is observed around the globe today with the theme Journalism Under Digital Siege. Speaking with Planet News on the significance of the former State Secretary of Nigerian Union of Journalists, Joseph Robert, said, by the celebration, the essence of press freedom alongside freedom of expression can be brought to fore. He added that to have a functional democracy, press freedom is indispensable.
In fact, it brings to mind the fact that the press is the voice of the voiceless. It brings to mind the fact that the press is the watchdog of the society. And press freedom is the bulwark for a functional democracy in any kind. So it is important that today is set aside and celebrated the world over, so that everyone involved in governance can be conscientized to the fact that they must give room for a free press and freedom of expression.
Further speaking with our correspondent Florence Essien, Roberts commended government for the Freedom of Information Act and tasked them to ensure its full compliance so that the press can function properly. Additionally, he advised journalists to always seek balance in their news and not be biased, urging them to at all times uphold the ethics of journalism profession.
Good enough, I want to give it to government that it has been able to put in place at the center the Freedom of Information Act. But what is left is for government to ensure full compliance and to remove all the hindrances that make journalists in particular have difficulties in accessing information they need. So it is important that this Freedom of Information Act must be allowed to operate seamlessly so that there could be access to freedom. And when there is access to information, the major problem that journalists have is that of subjectivity. So I want to advise my colleagues the world over to emphasize objectivity in their reportage.
In response to Special Assistant to the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Domi Manuel, a new media, Enekeme Fimba tasked all those involved in the act of spreading false information to desist from it.
This is an era where the entire media space has been opened up to every Tom, Dick and Harry. Everybody who has an access to Android technology can say he or she is a journalist, and that absolutely poses great dent on the image of journalism. And so as we celebrate this year, it behooves of journalists to raise the standard, to separate the ship from the whale. And on the part of government, His Excellency Governor Domi Manuel appreciates the unique role of the media in bringing credible information and bridging the gap between the government and the governed.
World Press Freedom Day is observed every year on May 3rd to celebrate and emphasize the importance of a press free and also acts as a reminder to governments of the need to respect their commitments to press freedom. It is also a day of reflection among media professionals about issues of press freedom and professional ethics. You're listening to the news on Planet Radio 101.1 FM. Let's take a breather and then bring more stories from our foreign sports and entertainment scenes. To stay with us.
Locked in core values. Planet 101.1 FM, Uyo.
Thanks for staying with us. Now on the foreign scene, Pope Francis has said today that he had requested a meeting in Moscow with the Russian President Vladimir Putin over the Ukraine war, but has heard nothing back. The 85-year-old told newsmen that he had sent a message to Putin around 20 days into the conflict saying that he is willing to go to Moscow. The Pope has repeatedly called for peace in Ukraine and denounced cruel and senseless war, but without ever mentioning Putin or Moscow by name. In sports, World Football Governing Body FIFA has imposed $64 million fine on Nigeria for crowd disturbances that followed the Super Eagles' inability to beat Ghana and qualify for the Qatar 2022 World Cup. The Super Eagles on March 29, 2022 managed to hold the Black Stars to a 1-1 draw at the MKO Abiola National Stadium in Abuja, thus losing the bid to make the Qatar 2022 list to the Ghanaians. Reports say to vent their anger and frustration over their team's poor showing, football fans at the stadium went wild, destroying everything in sight. At the end of the rampage, one CAF official from Zambia, Dr. Joseph Kabungo, who served as a doping doctor, was confirmed dead from suspected cardiac arrest. The FIFA disciplinary panel also judged dozens of similar cases from World Cup qualifying games played since January and handed out several other fines and stadium closures to 5 other African countries. Now on the entertainment scene, the Metropolitan Museum of Art has paid historic tribute to Rihanna at the Met Gala 2022 with a marble statue made in Rihanna's honor. Rihanna, who is expecting her first child with rapper boyfriend A$AP Rocky, could not attend the gala this year, but she still managed to steal the show at the fashion's biggest night. The singer took to Instagram to thank the museum for the tribute, shared a video of the artwork stressing that she was excited to receive such honor. It's been the news on Planet Radio 101.1 FM view. But before we go, a recap of the major stories. In the news we told you, President Muhammadu Buhari has reiterated his government's commitments to freedom of the press, pledging to continue ensuring the protection of the rights and privileges of journalists and the lawful performance of their professional duties as this year's World Press Freedom Day is celebrated today. The Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, SANO, has warned that the lingering strike in the universities could spell doom for Nigeria. The Inspector General Police IGP Usman Akali Baba has deployed 4 choppers for enhanced aerial surveillance. On the foreign scene, we told you that Pope Francis has said today that he had requested a meeting in Moscow with the Russian President Vladimir Putin over the Ukraine war, but has heard nothing back. And the Sport reported that World Football Governing Body FIFA has imposed $64 million fine on Nigeria for crowd disturbances that followed the Super Eagles' inability to beat Ghana and qualify for the Qatar 2022 World Cup. For comments and coverage of newsworthy events, call our newsroom on 0812 770 2940. That is 0812 770 2940. Visit our website on planet11fm.ng. Follow us on Twitter at planet_11fm. You can also like our verified Facebook page at planet11fm. The news was edited by Jane Owas. When the news, always remember that the key to success is to focus on your goals and not obstacles. I am Bright James. Good afternoon and thank you for listening.
What's in a woman? Women carry a worth more prestigious than fine stones. We are landmarks of triumph and integrity, humility, beauty. God implanted power and poise. Women always have to be strong, for often our meekness is misconceived as weakness.
This woman's weakness is love.
Every Thursday, 11 to 11:45 a.m. The Woman's Diary on Planet Radio 101.1 FM. Don't miss it. Please listen to this announcement. The Grand Patron of Light of Peace for Africa Foundation, Obong Michael Afangide, OON-JP, regrets to announce postponement of the inauguration of the NGO earlier scheduled for Thursday, May 5th. The new date for the events is 19th May 2022. The venue remains the same at Ibum Hall. Time is 10 a.m. Obong Michael Afangide, OON-JP, Grand Patron and Chief Host, Mr. Samuel Sampson, President, Announcer.
This is a man from Nancy Major.
Ebe, I forgot to me, ya. I don't come for Quebec. Come for you know you.
That I know for the Quebec. Man, we go to